Boker Tov Rabotai. We're here on this beautiful Sunday morning. We will attempt to make a recording on our interesting tripod. And we thank all of you for coming to the Shiur Baruch Hashem in the beginning of the week. May Hashem repay you in kind that the whole week should be an illuminated week, Bezrat Hashem. We want to welcome all our viewers. We thank you for watching. We are this week in Parashat Tazriah. The Torah writes, Isha ki tazriya ve'yaleda zachar. A lady who gets pregnant and gives birth to a boy, she has an impure state after birth for 7 days, after which she has dam tohar, pure days, for 33 days. If she gives birth to a girl, she becomes tameah shivu'ayim, she becomes impure for 2 weeks, and shishim yom, the sheshet yamim, and 66 days gives her, meaning will be the days of her tahara, which is a total of 80 days. Beseder. Says Rabbi Simlai, Amar Rabbi Simlai, why is it that we learn about people after we learn about animals? Last week's Parashat Shemini, we learned about all the kosher and non-kosher animals. This week we're learning about kosher and not kosher people. Why are you talking about people after you talk about animals? Says Rabbi Simlai, Keshem sheyitzirato shel adam achar kol behema chayav ha'of, just like the formation and creation of man came after all the animals. When was man created? On day 6. When were animals created, Yitzchak? Also on day 6?
Yep.
Also on day 6, but animals came before man. Says Rabbi Simlai, just like an animal came before man, so too is Torah, the laws of man comes after the laws of animals. Our rabbis explain, Madua, why was it? This is a Gemara in Sanhedrin. Why was it that man was created after all animals and birds, etc.? It's to teach you a lesson. It's called Ahor Vakedem Tzartani. Im Zachar, a person is righteous. They tell him, you're kedem, you came before everyone else. What does that mean? Because you're not a body, you're a neshama. The neshama came before everything. But if he's not zoche, a person who forgets he has a neshama, he behaves only with the body. Daitzi isho, daitzi isichas daitzi. And I don't care about tomorrow. It's all about pleasure. It's all about now. That's how you know he's giving into his body. We tell him even an ant came before you. Why? Because you're a body. In bodies, the animals came before you. But if you're a neshama, then you came before everything. Kedem. Ahor kedem sartani. Im zacha omrim lo ata kadam to ma'aseh bereshit. V'chim machishim. Kavanat Chazal im zacha adam machshim et nishmato ikar. He says the kavanah, like we said, is if you make your soul primary, then you came prior to everyone else. Whereas if you made the body primary, then you came last. למדנו מכאן שהאדם השלם שמקיים בעולם את השליחות שנשלח עבורה, a person who's complete, who fulfills his mission that he was sent here to do. You were sent on a mission, each and every one of us. You're more worthy than everything in the creation. And if you don't fulfill your mission, you live life lishba, just give me money. If you live like that, then Chas Shalom, you're on a lower level than Chas Shalom, I don't want to say, than an animal. I heard a joke Rabbi Mansour said. He said, in the Torah it writes to you the 4 species of one siman animal, meaning usually a kosher animal needs split hooves and to chew its cud. 4 species have to do one or the other. Says Rabbi Mansour, how did they know what animals we're going to have 3,000 years later? He says, today we have so many different species of animals. He says, just go take a walk in Manhattan. You're going to see how many different species of animals we have. So when I heard that joke, I was rolling a little bit. That was pretty funny. The sarcasm, we appreciate it. This is him in his younger days. He was 15 years ago. It used to be hot. I said to my wife, aha, you see, they mellow out in their older age. But actually, no, but we had a lot of hamor jokes last time they came here, remember? Anyway, says the Gemara, En haya sholetet al adam ela im ken nidma la kebehema. An animal cannot harm you. A dog cannot bite you. A lion cannot eat you. A giraffe cannot kick you unless you look like an animal. You know, Rabotai, You have to know how special we are. Yesterday I was walking with my son, and we see 3 boys sitting. You know the pink building on 175th Street on Union Turnpike, the one that's been closed for the last 20 years? You know those guys? So there are 3 boys, they whipped out their phone, and they're all like just sitting and hanging out. I looked at them, and they had a spark, like Rafi Kasayev has. A spark they had on them. And I said to them, I said, hey guys, I did something out of the ordinary. I said, how are you guys doing? What am I trying to see? If my intuition was correct. To me, it looked beyond a doubt that 2 of the 3 for sure had the light. One of them was a little no. But I said for sure these guys are Yivrei. I said, but how are you going to find out if he's a Jew? You're not going to say, are you Jewish? Right? So I said, hey, how you guys doing, etc. What's your name? One guy tells me, what was his name, Israel? Whatever his name was. One guy was Liron, one guy was this, one guy was that. And then afterwards, so we spoke to them, and it was a nice, beautiful thing. And then we continued walking. Then we were walking slow. They caught up to us. And again, I got to speak to them for a few minutes. And they were going into 7-Eleven. They say that on Union Turnpike. That's not the point. But we were talking to them. I told them, if we met, that means Hashem wanted us to meet. And I said, be holy. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Hazak Baruch. Wow, unbelievable. But when I was talking to my son afterwards, I said to him, Israel, why did I speak to these kids? What made me speak to them? I said, how did I even know they were Yehudim? Because a Yehudi has a face that's not a regular face. You can see on people, yes? You can see on the person, he has a glow to him. He has a glow, a yarkas to him.
I don't see anything.
What's that?
It's a yarkas to him that he's got the face of a Yehudi. So too, an animal cannot attack you if you have this holy face, if you have this holy aura. But if you lose the aura, if you don't behave, then an animal can attack you. Says the Gemara in Sanhedrin, there was a rabbi, his name was Rabbi Shimon ben Halafta. He was walking outside, and a group of lions came next to him. What did the rabbi do?
He pet them.
He didn't get scared, the rabbi. What did he do? He started to pray, Hashem, HaKefirim Shagim Latarif. The young lions, they're crying out, they need food, Hashem. Levakesh me'el ochlam. They're asking from God food. I'm not food for lions. Hashem, please give them food. And a miracle happened. That food came down from heaven. Meat came down from heaven. He fed the lions the meat. Now, he had a lot of meat left over. He takes the ribeye and he goes to the Bet Midrash. And he asks the rabbis a question. Can I eat this meat? Is it kosher or not?
Absolutely.
They told him, not kosher things don't come from heaven. If it came from Shamayim, it has to be tahor. Rabbi Zilberstein, he's alive today, may he live long and be well. Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky's brother-in-law. Rabbi Zilberstein asks, he says, 1 second. Why didn't the rabbi say gomel? The Gemara says if you encounter a lion and you survive, you could say gomel. Why didn't he say gomel?
He wasn't scared.
He wasn't in a dangerous situation.
What do you mean? You got lions around you. Says Rabbi Zilberstein that for a rabbi like Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta, this was not considered out of the ordinary. When you get to be on his level, where you perfect the physical inside of you, where you don't give in to your desire, where you want to eat the 17th langari of plov, but you say no. When you want to eat that 19th bite of the steak, but you say no. When you want to eat the 16th tchum rogan, but you say the eggs, but you say no. When you want more lipyoshka, and you look at your tub and you're like, oh, minaftarithet, and you say no. When you have restriction, I'm not saying go hungry, but I'm saying when you have restriction, when you're able to say no to yourself, then you have to know at that point, you purify, you become an angelic level, and an animal cannot attack you. Ish tzaddik asher tzelem Elohim befanav, or panav tzelem Elokav mapil moral hayot haaretz. You have a special aura that puts fear on all the animals.
An aura.
A spiritual light.
Like Ura?
No.
A-U-R-A.
However, when you lose this aura, you lose your aura, in Bukharian they say. Because you lost the aura, then you have to know the butai, you have to be very scared. Any dog will attack you on the street. See a raccoon, run away. Why? Your aura is damaged. But if your aura is pure, you're full, functional, tzaddik, no animal can attack you. There's a story with the Pnei Yehoshuaa. One day he was walking in the morning, alot hashachar, after dawn, from his house to the Bet Midrash in his talit and tefillin. And what does he see?
A lion.
הנה שומע בעל פני יהושע שהאריה פרץ את סורגי גן החיות. He says a lion ran away from the zoo. Yeah.
There was this back then?
בו הוא שהה, maybe a circus, והחל משוטט בחוצות. He's outside, he's having a good time. ופני יהושע, not afraid of him. Why? Because again, you can only be damaged by an animal if you don't behave like a person. This is why, by the way, when the brothers suspected Yosef, they said, we can kill him. Why? Because I can kill somebody with my free will. Yes? My free will is so strong that I can harm another person. However, an animal cannot harm a person. What did they do? They took Yosef and they threw him into a pit. What was inside this pit?
Scorpions.
Snakes and scorpions. I'll tell you a chidush.
And no water.
If me and Mr. Khaimov are sitting on the Titanic, on the ship, we're sitting on my new boat, we're hanging out on the ship, and we see a man, his ship sank. And by the time we got there, we don't see him anymore. We're in the middle of the ocean, there's nobody around. We wait around an hour or two, we have no idea where this guy disappeared. 2 hours later, he hasn't come back. We stay there all day, we still don't see him. We come back to shore, and we tell his wife, listen, your husband, he jumped off and forget about it, he disappeared. Can she get remarried?
Ask
Alakha
for
says
my
no.
body, Yosef.
Alakha says no. What do you mean? He was in water that has no end. Kuda riplevit. What? He was swallowed by a whale. He's going to be spit out. What's going to be? He's dead, the guy. What's going to happen? You don't see the guy. He drowned in an ocean. He's gone. Can't get remarried. Why? Maybe, kakta. He's going to survive. He's going to find a branch. He's going to find you're in the middle of the ocean. What are you going to find? You cannot, unless you see a dead body. Cannot let her get remarried.
What about back in the day in the war?
Even in war, you need one witness at least, even a goy, to come and say, I saw him, he was dead, and somebody needs to give testimony. If there was no testimony, you're stuck. It's called aguna. Rabbi Ovadia, what was he known for? For many things, but one of his specialties was for allowing hundreds and hundreds of ladies free from agunot. I saw in his teshuvot and his later teshuvot in Yabia Omer, he brings down one of the ladies' husbands who was on the 100th floor in the World Trade Center, and they want to know, could the wife get remarried? How do they see if it was the husband or not? By the print of the teeth. Yeah, is that a good enough snack?
Absolutely.
And yeah? Okay. Then by marks of the body and other things that they were dealing with in order to identify that it was him. But let's go back to our topic. Person falls into a yama. In the yama, what do you have? Only Israel gets the joke. You have a yama. You guys don't listen to kosher music. I'm kidding. Anyway, you have a yama, kosher music. There's a song, Yama, 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 Tzafona V'negba.
We're not supposed to listen to music this time.
What a tzaddik.
It's not a cappella.
Now, you have a person falls into a yama, into a ditch, into a pit with snakes and scorpions. You didn't see him die. You could let his wife get remarried. Why? Because for sure he died. There's no question about it. But you know something? When they threw Yosef into the pit, there were snakes and scorpions and Yosef didn't die. Why did they throw him in the pit? They threw him in the pit because an animal cannot kill you unless he's deserving to die. An animal cannot harm a person unless that person is guilty. If you're innocent and you tzaddik, the snake will not bite you. Now you're going to say, well, can we put this to the test? Good luck. But the idea is, Rabotai, is that we have to work on making ourselves spiritual, to elevate ourselves. The body all at once is physical. It's now. It's give me now. And Sefirat HaOmer is taking the animalistic and it's elevating it to the humane. We explained already the concept of Zman, time. What's the gematria of Zman, Rafi?
97.
97. 97 is the gematria of Zman. What's Zman? There's two words in Hebrew. One is called Behema, an animal, gematria 52. One is called Adam, gematria 45. 52 and 45 give you 97. What's the secret? That the purpose of time is to elevate the physical to something spiritual, to something more elevated, to something lofty. That's the secret of Zman. And thereby, Rabotai, when we realize that we were sent here on a mission to be lofty, to be spiritual, to have dvekut, to be connected to Hashem, not to give in to our Yetzer Hara and our desires on the 19th Langri of Plof. No! It's to say, no, I can hold back. Yes, I can hold back. I can be in charge of myself. Yeah, I want to look somewhere, but I say, no, I'm not supposed to look over there. I want to, etc. But I'm in control of myself. You have to know at that moment, you're considered the first in all of creation. The that you came before everyone else and everything else, and Yehi Ratzon that we bring this lesson into practice. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. Amen.